All right, here we go. The last one. Except for two sequences with Gamera, the only time you see him is in stock footage. And we're going to have to deal with the black and white compounds against color again. Plus a bunch of very Sentai, magical girl, Supergirl type stuff in this from the characters. Trust me on that one. We're not looking forward to this. Do you think we might get some enjoyment out of this, or do you think this is going to be worse than Virus?
I'm just going to brace myself for the worst and be pleasantly surprised if there's anything I like about it. That seems to be the safest way to approach this one.
But here's the worst part. It's going to be one of the longest of the movies.
Oh, no.
And not as long as Barugan, but still. This is the length we almost could have gotten with Virus if we had did the television cut.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys on the other side. Hopefully we'll be good to go. It was as bad, if not worse, than we feared.
Oh, Lord
This is
almighty.
the worst of them all. There is nothing good, except for one thing that gives it a 1 out of 10, and that was the Space Women. But even they...
they couldn't save this thing.
No, they
We were doing our absolute damnedest to find things that were good about this movie.
And every time they had something good, something else would come in stupid and knocks it back down.
Yeah, we had to watch the flashback segments on 1.5 speed.
Already a point off.
Already a point off, and that's just like, that was the only way we made rewatching some of that stuff even remotely tolerable, and it didn't always work.
And the kid was worse than Toshi.
How did we get worse than Toshi? At least Toshi had the excuse of being in the first movie, so they hadn't figured everything out yet.
And he was obsessed with turtles, and at least we saw the AIP version. This basically showed us the version that was in the Japanese version, but made it worse. He, like Toshi saw it, his turtle was Gamera. When we had the whole stupidity of his parents saying, "Oh, don't you? You can't have a pet. You gotta focus on your studies. Go put it out there." Just like Toshi.
Just like, oh Lord Almighty.
We repeated that. We had a space bitch who was so ineffective.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point of this is no explanation how the monsters are back. And yet this spaceship, let's just show it from the card.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be seeing more of these in our next video. This spaceship here, what does that look like? Star Destroyer.
We were singing the Star Wars, like,
Imperial
Imperial
March.
March when it was showing on screen.
Thank God it wasn't as big as Spaceball 1. But you had that. It was like, yeah, mostly stock footage. The original footage of Gamera was horrible. And it was like, it wasn't even a best of. It didn't even feel like a best of.
Yeah, it didn't even feel like a best of. It was just like, okay, we can finally, like, trim down this fight sequence, and even then it dragged on long.
Now, the only plus we'll give is that unlike Virus, we actually get a logical explanation for the black and white footage
because they're watching it on a TV.
A TV that just lost its color.
Mm-hmm.
That, I would give props for that. And there was another point we gave points for. What was it again?
There was a point where we saw that one of the things that was a victim of the carnage was a Godzilla sign.
Yep, it's like Dozilla, but yeah, farewell Dozilla. That was it. Those are the only good points of it. Otherwise, this is going to be the shortest video because
that was an absolute disaster, and we're trying to forget that it even existed.
why? And now, actually, no, there's one more point. Gamera dies in this.
And it is the most half-assed, full-assed death scene ever.
Now, again, I don't blame him for no original suit. That suit got destroyed after their bankruptcy because of protests and everything, riots. And so I don't blame them that they had what they could and couldn't do much out of it. The most they had was this horrible Gamera that was in flight mode. So if that's all you had, I get it. But he sacrificed himself by slamming into the ship and blowing it up, and him with it. I cried because he deserved better.
Not because the actual moment was sad.
No, because he deserves so much better. And even then, the space women were idiots.
It's just like, they started out strong, but then it's just kind of like...
They have their car destroyed around them, and the only reason why they survive is that their little bag they stay in, long story, it's stupid. It has a force field strong enough just for the bag, not the van. It's like, what kind of advanced speed people are you? They acted fine. I will give them that. More than the kid, they acted fine.
It's just that there is basically nothing that could save that writing.
Absolutely nothing. So, thank God we decided to do an extra video to wrap this up.
Because we need to wash this taste out of our mouths bad.
Absolute worst movie out of them all. We'll be talking a bit more about it in our next video, which is going to be our longest, that's for sure, right? Mm-hmm. So, we'll see you guys there. Catch ya.